Welcome back, guys. Today again we'll be working on Project Daily for STi, and this is the second video of pulling the motor, or working on getting the motor ready to be pulled. You can check out the first one probably right up there. So we'll be focusing on getting this part of the engine cleaned up, as well as those bell house bolts and nuts that we were dealing with and that I just talked about. So we'll be removing the serpentine belts, getting the AC or the power steering out of the way, and getting the AC out of the way so that we don't have to remove those when we pull the motor. Also, we'll be working on getting the stuff unplugged and getting the intake off. And then we're getting close, but not really close to getting the engine pulled. We still have a ton of things to do. We're like halfway down here, so we're like about halfway, so hopefully we can get a little more done, and then I think one more day and we should be ready to pull the motor. So let's try to get those bell house bolts, or actually those bell house nuts off, because they've been sitting in penetrating oil all day, so hopefully we'll have a little better luck than last time. Look at, we got one of the nuts off the bell housing, the other one's even in a worse place, but look who showed up to help, the professional engine puller. So Adrian is kind of helping me get that second one off. It's literally straight down from like the starter, and you only have about 3 inches of movement, so it's really difficult. So I'm going to be working on this, and really all you got to do is you undo these two right here, and as you can see, this guy's broken. Not even sure how it supported or worked there, but it's off now, and I obviously have to order a new one of those. I could probably just find one off of Pick and Pull. But Adrian's working on those hoses, and they're like crunching, which is showing the age of this car, I guess. So yeah, once I get this off, you can actually pull this belt right off, and then you can work your way through here. And then same with the AC, it's this guy down here, and then this guy. And that's all from Adrian, because Adrian's done this once or twice before. So we're making actually pretty good progress. We have the AC ready to be pulled out. I just gotta undo the power, and the power steering pump is coming out right now. The only issue is, as I said, that bracket's broken, and we're pulling some of the PCV stuff. That will all be probably deleted eventually. I'll do a video about that and exactly what I'm doing, but I'm gonna delete as much as I can really. But we're definitely getting closer to making progress, I guess. But there's a lot of bolts. If you guys have ever worked on a Subaru, you know it as well as I do, is there's a lot of bolts that are in really awkward places. So like I had to go through here and then down. But as long as you have a universal joint, you usually can get it, or you just get a little bit creative. And while I'm at it, I'll show you guys all the labeling I'm doing and like how I'm managing it. So as you can see, this is like the AC bracket, so I've taped the bolts on. This is the power steering belt and bracket, so there's some tape stating that it's on the ground, you're good. And then same with all like the lower bell housing and plugs and stuff, so we should be able to build it once we take it apart. With 2 people working on the same car, you can do a lot of stuff a lot faster. So we have everything disconnected on this side. So these hoses are just right there, and then all these plugs are done, the boost controller is removed, the power steering stays with the car, and then everything's removed, and now we're working on the rear, and Adrian is working on the starter, and then same with the AC, it is all removed, and that will be staying with the car. Also, these fuel lines are absolutely horrible. Adrian spent like 45 minutes trying to get them off, just because they're like, well, they're not, ooh, they're cracking, yeah, so they're probably going to be replaced. We're getting so close. Really, all we have is the bell housing and the engine mounts. So we got out the clutch, or the clutch fork. So there's a little thing in here, there's a plug, and you pull the plug out, and then you can actually pull the pin itself out. The pin is this guy, and you just use a 10 mil threaded, and it comes right out. And you cannot just pull out the clutch fork like Adrian was trying before we realized we have to pull that 10 mil. So we just about had a heart attack there, guys. So Adrian's pulling off the engine mounts with his heavy duty impact, and he went around once, and look at what happened to that guy. It's like a circle. It's not even close to being a nut anymore. But he did get it off, so we're in luck. But yeah, there's not much left in there. We would have been taking the angle grinder to it, but we got it, so we're all good. And he just got off the second one, I think. So essentially the motor's almost ready. check that out. The engine and transmission is already splitting, so it is essentially ready to be pulled. There's probably going to be a wire or a cable or some lines that we forgot, but we'll find those, or we'll find out how far we can stretch them before they break when we pull the motor. There's no real cool parts to look at this time for what we pulled. The intake needs a new filter. I'm going to be getting that. I'm not sure when this filter was replaced, but as you can tell, it's a little bit dusty, so might as well replace it. And then, you know, the starter. The starter's a starter. Nothing really interesting about that. So the engine bay actually doesn't look that much different to when we left it last night. Well, besides these guys sitting over there, a lot of it was just like the stuff back here in the transmission area, like bell housing, and then underneath with those main bolts. At the start of this video, I said it's going to be one more episode before we actually start pulling this motor. Well, that's incorrect. So, next video, we'll be pulling this motor. This guy's going to be here. This guy helped a lot, Adrian. He's, as I said, he pulled the motor on his 06 STi last year. So, and you guys can check out those videos up there. He also rebuilt the whole thing, so he's a little bit more knowledgeable and a little bit faster at working on cars than me. So, look forward to that. We'll also be doing lots with this motor, lots with this engine bay, lots with this car this winter, so watch out for that. I'm not going to tell you exactly all the plans yet because those are going to have to be surprises.
TV deletes.
Yeah, those. But yeah, he doesn't know everything. Anyways, that is going to be it for today, but see you guys in the next episode where we pull the motor. As always, peace out and stay humble.